Hi, for those of you that don't know me, maybe you might be in the Methodist circuit. My name is Tim Jeffrey, and I'm a lay reader. I've recently been admitted as a lay reader in the Diocese of Peterborough and am licensed to Desborough and Braybrook and Brampton Ash and Dingley. One of the things that has happened to me recently is I went to see my mum for the first time in many months, and she's been doing some clearing out. And one of the things that she has given to me now are a bunch of letters and photographs from years and years ago. And some of those letters were from when I was 18, 19. I'd left school and I went to Zaire, as it was then, to the middle of the rainforest, miles from anywhere. An amazing experience, but wrote back to my parents. And it's been fascinating to read what the 18, 19-year-old me wrote, what was happening, but also some of the spiritual things that I was grappling with and the sort of what my spiritual life was like, I suppose. And as I've been thinking about that and thinking about the 18, 19-year-old me, do you know, I think that me wouldn't have understood a lot of my own spiritual practice now. Because back then, prayer and Bible study were very much part of my practice and my life, and still are. But there's something that's become more central in some ways to my walk with Jesus, to my seeking to be a follower of the way of Jesus. And that's surrender. That's a process of letting go, of surrendering all that I am, all that I have. I really was helped to learn this by Brother Lawrence. You may know his book, his epic little book, Practicing the Presence of God. And in there, Lawrence talks about the need for us to be continually letting go, continually surrendering. And this is something that I have been doing that's part of my practice, but also something I've been trying to explain. And recently I came across a new word that's actually been quite helpful to me. Let me read you a little bit from Jonah chapter 2. So this is Jonah giving us his prayer from the belly of the whale. So Jonah 2 and verses 7 to 9, he says this: "When my life was ebbing away, I remembered you, Lord, and my prayer rose to you, to your holy temple. Those who cling to worthless idols forfeit the grace that could be theirs. But I, with a song of thanksgiving, will sacrifice to you. What I have vowed, I will make good. Salvation comes from the Lord." Did you notice that word? In verse 8, those who cling to worthless idols. Cling. Now, there's a word, and I don't want to make jokes about Klingon, but cling gives that sense of kind of cloying. The word in Hebrew evidently is dabak, and that also means cleave. It also gets used in the Old Testament as pursuit, when an army routing another army would pursue them and get them. And so Jonah talks about clinging to idols, holding tightly to things that get in the way of our relationship with God. And in a sense, that's what surrender is all about, isn't it? You may remember the tale and the thing they used to evidently do a lot in India. When they wanted to catch a monkey, they would find a jar and put a banana in it. And then the monkey would put its hand into the jar, grab the banana, but then not be able to get it out. And somebody would come along, and because the monkey simply didn't want to let go of the banana, it was clinging so tightly to the banana that it would then be killed. Now, one of the things that lockdown has been helpful to me, and I'm sure to many of us, is actually it's helped me to see some of the things that I cling to, that I hadn't really in everyday life as I went about normal working life and family life, that I didn't see. And so, what is it that I have been clinging to? What is it that maybe during lockdown are the things that you're beginning to see? Actually, I'm clinging to that. I've been clinging to that. And those things, however good they may seem, whether they might be things like family or a spouse, actually, those things can get in the way of our walk with God when we hold them too tightly, when we're not able to open our hands and offer them rather than clinging and holding them tight and sometimes suffocating them. So, my prayer for myself and for you is that we may see the idols that we have, the things that we are clinging to, and learn continually to let go, to surrender, to open ourselves to God's grace as he forgives us and helps us to move on. So what are the things that you're clinging to?